I would like you to meet Ares, the ultimate soldier.
Well, it's Liam Crowley with Screen Rant. Joachim, thanks so much for taking the time.
Great.
This movie is such a spectacle. It pulse pounded me in a way I haven't had all year. So
good.
Thank you for your time today.
Wait, what format did you see it in?
I saw it at the AMC on 34th Street, and I want to say it was IMAX with Dolby Sound.
Oh my God.
And that Dolby Sound, okay, let's start there.
Yeah.
The score, oh my goodness. I was talking with Greta and Evan earlier about, obviously when you're filming this thing, the score is not infused while the cameras are rolling. It's a post-production process. But the score is a character in and of itself. So talk to me about the collaboration with 9 Inch Nails and what you wanted the score to feel like depending on what you were shooting that day, and knowing it's not gonna get attached until like months later.
Yeah, and they made new music, but no, you're right. It's I mean, music in the Tron is such a big part of the franchise. You know, the Tron world with Wendy Carlos made the music for the first film, and then obviously Daft Punk. So I think it's the first question that I've got throughout this whole process. Before it was known that it was going to be 9 Inch Nails, it's like, who's making the music? So we had the pressure on us to like, how can we, you know, somehow top it or at least take it into an interesting direction. And thank God they said yes, and they wanted to do it under their band name, and working with them was just, you know, what a joy for me and a privilege as a filmmaker to have them come in, because they're also so accomplished film composers, you know, in themselves, Trent and Atticus. So what they did and how they analyzed each scene and like what they're bringing to it. And I knew when I was shooting that they were gonna make the music. So I used to have the music on in my trailer and listen to it, and just like in the background, like getting into the groove of it and allowing myself to be a little darker, a little bit grittier, a little bit more industrialized. And I think that's working for the film, because it's supposed to have a contrast to the digital world, you know, when they come into the real world. So that contrast, I like that it is a great contrast between the two worlds.
Yeah, the contrast also between the digital worlds, because it's no secret, we see it in the trailer. We go into the retro Tron grid in this film. I loved how you retained every little nuance of what it looked like in the 20th century. Can you talk to me about playing in that sandbox and how just rewarding it felt as a filmmaker to get to use 2025 technology on that retro Tron?
No, again, like as a fan of the franchise, to be able to go back and have, you know, Ares talk with, you know, Kevin Flynn on the original grid. I think for everyone involved working on the movie, there was a lot of love for the franchise amongst all the team. And especially for Industrial Light and Magic ILM, who made the VFX for the film. It's kind of like, you know, the first Tron is kind of like a holy grail for, you know, VFX artists, and it was the first film that really utilized computer graphics and things like that. So when we made the original grid in our film, it was very important for me that we didn't polish it, that it was supposed to look as much as possible like the first film. And that's pretty rough. I'm just saying, if you've seen the first film lately, it is very rough. And we went in and we did some hand painting on the light lines, and we made the skin tones almost black and white, and we added the grain. It's very little depth of field, and like, you know, and the colors and the just being on that grid and using those very, at least for the fans and for myself, those famous icons, you know, was a hoot.
I flared up when you said the lighting, because the way that Ares is lit when we get into that grid is like, it's like a painting. It's awesome. I want to talk about Jared's performance as Ares. I heard he was method for this film. Is that accurate?
I mean, I would say yes to that. I know he's like a little wary about like talking about his I would say it's his method.
Sure.
So it's like, yes, he's in character for the most part when we did this film, but that's great. You know, honestly, for me as a director, like whatever works, I think he's one of the best actors in the world. whatever works for him works for me, and then some.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, I do address him as Ares when we're filming, and everybody goes, you know, we get a little bit up. He's the general walking onto set, which is fine, and it's not uncommon for actors to do it like that, and it works for him, and I think you can feel it in any movie he makes. He's completely into the character, and it's interesting how when we filmed, we started with Ares. We actually shot the film very chronological, which is rare when you make a big movie like this. So it was interesting to see his character evolve into like a more curious character, and like kind of, you know, like a sponge, like coming into the real world and learning, and you know what it means to be human, you know, and all of that. So I think I had a wonderful time working with him, and it was amazing.
You've done so many big franchises, but you rarely do sequels. like you tapped into Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You also did Maleficent.
Yeah.
They're writing a third script right now, as of March.
I think Maleficent.
Yeah, for a third Maleficent movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you be interested?
That's like a good question. I think like I'm always interested in a good story, you know, and for me that's what it's all about, and you know, we will see what the future holds. I love Maleficent, and you know, I love pirates. It changed my life, you know, as my career, being able to get that gig, and now doing Tron. It's been, you know, I feel so lucky to have been able to work in them, and then also like making a smaller film like Young Woman in the Sea, you know, where we go out and we have Daisy Ridley's, we're out on the ocean and we're doing it for real, and here I'm inside a computer. Like I just feel very lucky.
Yeah, you and Mickey Mouse are good business partners, so hopefully we get more between you two. Yeah. Again, I don't say this with hyperbole. Tron Ares is one of the best cinematic experiences I've had this year.
Oh, amazing.
You should be very proud, and I'm
honored
great to talk with you about.
That means a lot. Thank you so much.